Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course, then welcome. I'm so glad you've stopped by. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit nasally. It's because I'm a little bit nasally. I'm at the very end of what I think was strep throat, and I got it on a trip to LA. That was no fun. LA was, but getting sick wasn't. Speaking of LA, this video is gonna be so much fun because for this video, I actually went to Nordstrom Century City in Los Angeles, California to the Lancome counter and got a custom shade matched foundation, which was really cool. I actually saw Jeffree Star do this quite a while ago on his channel. I'll try to remember to leave his video linked down below so you can check that out. But the experience he had was really awesome because he went in, they took a few samples of his skin tone that he liked, and then mixed a custom foundation with it. And that is what I have right here, is the custom foundation. This is so cool to me. Just the idea of being able to get a shade that's meant for you and only you, and it's even cooler that you can reorder this. Plus, Duchess at the counter there is the one who helped me, and she is amazing, so amazing. If you ever get to Nordstrom Central City, go see her and get your own foundation made because she's just an amazing person. I love her so much. So if you want to see what this foundation looks like, how it applies, and the vlog I created with the experience at the counter, then stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. Okay guys, so I want you guys to see what the whole experience in LA was like. It's not the whole experience, it's not like the whole trip, but I want you to see what the experience at the Lancome counter was like to get this foundation shade matched. So I'm gonna go ahead and play those clips so you can see the fun that I had at Nordstrom with Duchess.
Sure. So did they tell you about the foundation?
No, not really.
Okay. So I always tell everybody first because it's an hour commitment.
Okay.
And then you are going to purchase it $88. Yeah. Because normally we do foundation branding where we give you samples.
Yeah.
With this, we don't have the ability to do so because we actually produce an entire bottle with engraving. So this bottle right here gets the label. And it's pretty spectacular. If you look, like I usually kind of give a comparison. So Teint Particulier foundation, one of the #1 selling foundations, has 50 shades, which is very impressive. However, this has 20,000 shades. So that's why it's custom. So the good news is we never run out of it because it's created just for you, the custom ID. The only other thing I like to share first too is it's very sheer. It's almost like a veil.
Okay.
So you're not going to get a whole lot of coverage out of it. And it is oil-free. It's more on the matte side.
Okay.
And we do send you outside so that you can see the natural daylight.
Okay.
So what I'll do is I'll make half a bottle and I'll put it on one side of your face and then we'll have nothing on the other side.
Okay.
When you go outside, you can see what it looks like. If you come back in, if there isn't any adjusting, I make the other half.
Okay.
Okay. All right, very good.
I think the technology of this is so cool.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
The Sayuku family made it and L'Oreal purchased it. And it's only in a few locations in the world. It's very special and unique.
We came all the way from Arkansas to do this.
Oh my God! Beyonce knew. Welcome! That's so awesome. I'm so glad. And you're in LA of all places, which is the best. All right. So what we're going to do is we'll talk about your skin, and then I'm just going to remove what you have. So do you have any foundation on now?
Just a cream color corrector under my eyes.
Okay.
And a liquid highlighter.
I saw that. I love it.
No coverage.
No coverage. So we'll just do a gentle cleansing because you don't have too much in your skin. We'll repair it. And then we will mix a bottle and we'll try half of it. Describe your skin. Is it more dry, normal, or oily?
Normal.
So normal. There you go. And then for coverage, now keep in mind this is a very sheer product. It's like a veil.
Yep.
So if you say sheer, it's like nothing.
Okay.
It's gonna be like just a very light finish. So you went full. That's a great choice. I didn't want to, influence you too much, but I like that.
I usually go as full as I can, so.
Yeah, no, totally.
Bullshit.
You're so smart. I would do the same, and I've done the same. So now this is kind of what you saw when you were looking at your videos. So we're going to go ahead and scan different areas. So I'm going to give you a mirror. So show me the places that you feel most confident about with your skin.
I know I don't like any of the spots where there's redness because I always cover it up. So like here, it never has excessive redness until I rub it and then it turns red.
Sure.
And
really, it's kind of those areas. Like this area in the back where there's no facial hair, obviously, and there's no redness there either. And usually this area, whenever it doesn't have redness.
It has redness now.
Yeah, but like those circles there where whenever I'm not rubbing them.
Sure.
But it's going to be red at the moment when you're
This
scanning.
is kind of what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, like you said, here. I'm thinking, I know this is strange here, because there's no hair
No,
there.
I agree, yeah.
And then even here.
Yeah.
Because those to me are clear areas.
I didn't know if I could go down that far or not, but I like that. Yeah.
You can. We don't always, stay on the neck. You see, that's one of our last places. But because you're a gentleman, I would say without the facial hair, you want like a clear shot. Because you don't want this picking up any dark hair. I would probably go with that.
Or redness.
Or redness. But no, I think your skin is great. You do a nice job. Like you've got great dewy skin, and I know with the whole shaving aspect, and your moisture barrier is different than gals, so you're doing a nice job with products. I can tell you that right now. So
it's hard to stop razor burn. I love it.
I can imagine you're doing great. All right, so let's do this. I'm going to grab some cleansing products. I'm going to leave the beautiful eyes and everything we have going on, the lips. I love it. I'll just remove around it, and that way we can just try it. Okay? We're going to use our special brush. Did you see this online too? Did you know about this? This was created just for this machine.
Okay.
So normally a foundation brush is usually a fine, thin brush. This is kind of like thicker. Because you're getting more of like a whipped airbrushing effect.
It looks like a foundation brush mixed with a buffing brush.
Yes, that's exactly what we're doing. So we're gonna apply it and then we're gonna buff it.
Okay.
And it goes on really nice and sheer.
Cool.
Okay, very good. Okay, so let's talk your scan. So here is more of a cooler side and a warmer side of the spectrum. Yes. Your scanning holds you closer to the warmer side, which I think you kind of were saying you use a lot of things to take away the redness.
Yes.
So that's kind of where you are. If you were neutral, you'd be right in the middle, but you're leaning closer to having more warmth. Which I think that's success because we don't want the pink and we don't want like the pigmentation for facial. So that's where we're at. Now, we can always adjust it. We're going to make half a bottle, and then if we need to, we will.
Okay.
All right? So let's get ready to do it. So this is the actual bottle that we filled. Okay. So this is our machine. All of our bottles you'll see are placed inside, and they draw all the pigment. Right? But we're gonna probably go back. those lashes. Oh my God, you're killing me. They're gorgeous.
Thank you.
I'm just doing half of his face so that he can go and look at it outside on the daylight.
So I can be red on one side and skin toned on the other.
Yeah.
Peach.
How does the airbrushing feel with the brush?
It's relaxing.
Isn't it unique? It's like so unique. It's so unique. This brush was designed just for this machine.
I love that it doesn't have a bunch of streaks in it.
No, that's the whole point of it. It's a like a buffing airbrush.
Yeah, and the formula's not so wet that it
Nope.
leaves those streaks too.
Right.
I think it's a little light, but with bronzing, that'll go away completely.
Turn your head the other direction as well.
I actually really like it. Like a lot.
Okay, so you see it get pushed up like that. And then the goal is, once I put the neck on and close it, that's it. You'll never be able to open it. So do you want me to seal it? Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna seal it. So what happens is once we pump out the air, it goes in this box, this chamber. And then what I do is I take this neck and I do that. And the neck goes on it, and then the top goes on it.
Yeah, that's beautiful too. I
It
love
really
that
is. It's
packaging.
very beautiful. And then you have it.
That was just so much fun. I would do that again and again and again. Now let's go ahead and open this box up so I can show you exactly what this foundation looks like, and then we can try it on. Now this is not a first impressions because I have worn this because you have to wear it to see if the shade is gonna match. So obviously I wore it for that day so that I could know. So it's not a first impression, but it is gonna be kind of a first impression for my application technique and for my makeup routine, because there it's just applied to see if it matches. It's not like a full face, you know? So whenever you open the box, you are greeted by your beautiful foundation bottle with its own custom label, ChristopherJMUA 2. Because whenever we did the shade match the first time, I just didn't like the shade as much as I wanted, so she was cool with me doing it a second time, so we got the perfect shade for me. And I thought it was really cool of her to let me do it again, just to get the shade I wanted. So on the front, it shows that it is the Teint Particulier custom made foundation, and it shows customized exclusively for ChristopherJMUA 2. Then it gives your complexion ID and batch number and best use before date. The complexion ID and batch number can actually be used to go onto the Lancome website to order your own foundation shade again. So it actually remembers your own custom shade and can mix it again for you, which is awesome. So I'm gonna take this out of the box, and it's just this in the box. Then if we look at the back, it says for all skin types and shake well before use and to store at room temperature. So we're gonna shake well. Oh, also to go in to Lancome and get the whole shade match done and the custom foundation mixed with your customized bottle, it is $88, which I didn't really think was so bad for everything that you got with it. To have a foundation shade matched to you, it takes the guesswork out of matching foundation. You just get it and go. So when we open it up, we have a pump dispenser, which is nice. I like a pump dispenser. And she used a brush there. The brush she used is, I think, specific to Lancome. It was kind of a fluffy, diffused brush. Almost kind of looked like this, but I don't think it was a duo fiber brush. But this is sort of what it looked like. I, however, am partway through filming another video, hence this insane eye look. This is actually the 39L Hit the Lights Morphe Holiday palette. If I do have that video uploaded by the time I upload this video, I will link it right up here so that you can check it out if you like. If I don't, sorry, stay tuned. But since I am reviewing that collection, I'm also reviewing the brushes as well. So I'm gonna be using this brush collection with this foundation, and I'm gonna be using this on one side of my face, and on the other side of my face, I'm going to be using a beauty blender because I wanna see the difference. Now, this foundation is definitely not a full coverage foundation. It is more of a light coverage foundation. Now you can customize that coverage while you're getting the shade match done, but it's still gonna be light mainly. You might be able to build it up to medium, but it's still mainly gonna be light. You can choose light light, medium light, or full light. So either way you go, it's still light, but it's buildable light. So I feel like using the sponge is not gonna be the greatest experience, but I'm gonna do it anyway just so we can see the effects of the sponge. I am gonna start with the brush on the right side of my face. I have gone ahead and primed as well. I primed using the Winky Lux Whipped Cream Primer and the Tatcha Dewy Skin Cream, as well as the Smashbox Photo Finish Hydrating Under Eye Primer. I'm old, so I get kind of creasy on my under eyes, so hydration is always key. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take a few pumps onto the back of my brush. Oh, and if I remember correctly, I think this is supposed to be a velvet natural finish? Pretty much a satin, if I remember correctly. Don't hold me to it. I'll try to find out for sure and leave it in the description below. The way that this foundation was applied on me in store also was not like this. I'm not doing it the way it was done on me. I don't know why, I don't know. It was applied on me in spot applications. So a little bit would be applied, it would be blended out. A little bit would be applied, it would be blended out. I always just start in the center of my face and move outward. And this does oxidize a little bit, so don't be too afraid of the super light shade I have right now. The one I did have was actually a little darker, and it honestly looked fine on me. I just always like to go a little bit lighter with my foundations because I feel like it helps me in the brightening up front, and then I can deepen everywhere else with bronzer and contour. Plus powder usually helps deepen a little bit as well, so I just prefer to have a little bit lighter of a foundation shade. But that is of my own preference. That's not necessarily what anyone else has to have. That's just me. It actually doesn't seem as light of coverage as I remember. Then again, I think Duchess used maybe, I don't know, 1 pump for my entire face, I think. And here I am using 2 to 3 already. But the finish is just so beautiful. It is so skin-like. The only place I'm probably going to build up more coverage is going to be my nose, because my nose is always a little more red and it always shows through my foundation. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and go in with the Beauty Blender on my left side. That way I can kind of gauge the coverage as a full face and build from that point. So again, I'm going to go in with, I think it was 2 pumps, and start in the middle. Ooh, my sponge is still quite wet. I should have dried that a little better. Okay, so I definitely feel like most of what I applied just now came off with the sponge. I feel like everything I laid down literally just picked itself back up every time I went over it the second time. So I'm gonna go in with 2 more pumps on the sponge and apply that all over again. I knew that was gonna happen with this formula and this sponge. It kind of reminds me a little bit of a tinted moisturizer, how it picks up and moves around, but a little more coverage. It acts like a foundation, not a tinted moisturizer. So I went ahead and I blended it out everywhere, then I took it off. Because I really didn't like the way it was sitting on the skin. I think I built it up way too much, and I used way too much of what should be a less is more product, because it is a light coverage product and I was trying to make it a full coverage. So it just got like super thick, and it was like just a bunch of liquid moving around on my face. So now I'm going in again, and I'm going in with a light hand, and I'm slowly building up in areas that I want more coverage, and I'm leaving it light in the coverage that I don't want more coverage, because that is what this product is. It is not a full coverage product. I'm more so telling myself this than I am you, but I'm also letting you know at the same time. So really all I'm doing now, you can tell the difference between this cheek and this cheek. This one's kind of evened out and cleaned up, and my complexion looks a lot better. So I'm just going through into specific areas, and I get now why she was using more of a like feathered brush, because it would be a lot easier than using a buffing brush, but I don't really know which one of mine that I would use. So I'm just gonna stick to this one and use it light-handed. So I'm just kind of using what's in the brush, pushing it into the areas that I want the coverage, and then just blending it out lightly and easily. That first time, I'll admit, I was going kind of ham. I was putting a lot of foundation on, and I don't think that this is one of those foundations. But that's the point of a first impression, is to get your first impression and to learn, figure out how it works. I just know anyone I've seen wearing this foundation with a finished look, it looks so good. Their skin looks just flawless, but it still looks like skin. And that's what I want. I want flawless skin that's actually skin. Crazy concept, I know. Okay, I think I'm very happy with that. You see what I mean? On this side, I have a clear complexion. I have a clean slate. It's even coverage. It's nice skin. On this side, I'm still kind of dull and dingy. Granted, I don't have any concealer on this side, so that's gonna change things too. But for now, you get the general idea. Now that I've gotten a clean slate everywhere, this is where I'm gonna go in and build up coverage where I want, instead of just going ham everywhere all at the same time. So I'll take just one more little dot, and I'm going to add this coverage right in the cheek area, like the center of my face, because that's where, first, I'm the most red normally, and second, where most people see. You know, I'm looking directly at you, you see this part of my face. So I want to try and just build it up right here and around my nose, just to make this even more flawless. Oh yeah, that just melts in. I think this foundation would be a really good foundation for a working makeup artist as well. Obviously not getting the custom foundation made for every client, but in the sense of you just wanting to create that perfect skin look with someone and just giving, say, a bold eye look and keeping the skin neutral and barely there. I might have to look and see if they have this formula of foundation available for purchase just to the general public, because I might actually get some of those. It is so much easier to use this foundation now that I know it needs a light hand. I think my coverage is now built up to a point that I'm happy with. I feel like I have a clear complexion and that my skin is just beautiful. So now, another little first impression moment. I'm gonna go in with the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Concealer. I have yet to use this as well. So this is like a 3-in-1 video. It's like a vlog, a first impression sort of a new foundation, and a first impression of a concealer. Now, from what I've heard about this concealer, I think it's supposed to be a little on the lighter coverage side and really hydrating. I think it was supposed to go with like the whole So Fresh tinted moisturizer and So Fresh something else. No matter what it was made for specifically, I thought it would be great to go with this foundation because this foundation is lighter coverage and I think this concealer is lighter coverage, so perfect. And this is only $9 from Colourpop.com. That's astonishing. $9 for a concealer. And this is a hyaluronic acid concealer, so it's extra hydrating. And I love me some hyaluronic acid. If you've ever known me at any point in time, you know that I love hyaluronic acid. So here's our cute little component. It's so short and chubby and just cute. It doesn't look like their no filter concealer. Yeah, definitely not the same size. But ironically enough, the Pretty Fresh concealer has more concealer in it than the matte no filter concealer. Crazy, huh? Okay, well let's go ahead and go in with this concealer and see what it's like. I'm excited. Oh, I got the shade Light 40N, which is gonna be a little cooler than my Lancome foundation because the Lancome was a little on the warmer side, but not a whole lot, just a little bit. I'm so happy I'm covering up these dark circles now. Ooh, that's gonna be a really good match. So far, it feels very creamy, and I think it's the same paddle applicator that the no filter concealer has. And I'm really gonna concentrate this right here on my inner corner and over my bags because I have really dark circles. And I'm also going to apply a little bit down here on top of my, let's call them birthmarks. I'm kidding. On top of my little tiny bit of breakouts / razor burn because shaving is the devil. And now I'm gonna take this little chunky brush and to blend out the concealer. And just gonna pull the concealer up a little bit onto the nose. Wow, that is so pretty. It's definitely more full coverage than the foundation is, but I think they'll work well together. I have yet to blend them in together, so I'm not 100% sure on that just yet, but we'll find out soon enough. Okay, concealer is all blended out, so now I'm gonna take the foundation brush back in and just touch up around the edges, make sure that there's no lines around everything, and see how this concealer blends in with this foundation. Wow, that looks so good. Okay, I'm really happy. This is a beautiful combination. Now, I'm just gonna use my Aspen Cosmetics translucent powder and set my under eyes and my face. Wow, this concealer dries so fast. It almost seems self-setting. You know, now that I'm thinking about it as I'm setting my face, if you wanted more coverage out of this as well after you used this foundation, you could even set your face with a powder foundation and you could give yourself more coverage without having to sacrifice that skin-like finish. And that would also be really beautiful. I don't know why I didn't do that, but I guess I didn't think about it until just now. Now that all my foundation is set, I think it's time to bronze. So I'm gonna go in with my L'Oreal Lumi Bronze It bronzer. I feel like this is just gonna really add to that whole natural skin-like finish because it's gonna give me a little bit of a glow at the same time as it bronzes my skin. So hopefully it will be perfect. And I'm just using the same brush that I used my powder for, that is big and messy. I just love this bronzer for a light glowy bronze. It's one of my staples for just that. Oh, well, you can see it. It's just so pretty. Now let's see how some glowy blush looks on top. I'm gonna use my Believe Beauty Born to Blush in the shade High Tea. I'm red everywhere anyway. Why not add a little bit of red back? Love that. Oh, and I'm sorry I'm not telling you the brushes I'm using. With this brush set, they don't have any names on them. They're just all the purple brush. But you can kind of guess the general shape of them based on the product I'm using. Like for example, I'm gonna go in with this one for the highlighter, and it looks like a highlighting brush. I'm gonna use my Gerard Cosmetics Star Powder in the shade Marilyn, one of my favorites. No, this is my favorite, Star Powder. Do you see why I love this highlighter? Yes, because it's beautiful. I know. Ugh. For now, I need to go ahead and go off camera and finish the rest of my eyes and my lips. Now that we have made sure that every product I use for complexion can go on top of the foundation, and quite well, might I add, because everything looks beautiful and blended together. So since we do know that, I'm gonna go ahead and finish everything else off camera. So give me just a second and I will be right back. Okay, we are now done with everything. The eyes are done, the lips are done, everything is done. And I think this looks beautiful. I love the way my complexion looks. I feel like it looks natural, but complete. You know what I mean? Like, it's finished. It looks finished, and it looks good and healthy. And it looks like I'm not wearing a whole bunch of makeup. And I think it's really pretty. So when it comes to the Lancome Teint Particulier, I think I actually really like it. It is definitely a mood in itself. You can't have a full coverage glam beat with it. That's not gonna happen. You can't even build it up to that. It's gonna be light coverage, and you just kind of have to go into it knowing that. So it's not gonna be for everyone. Plus, the fact that it's $88 is definitely not gonna be for everyone. But that's the whole point of it, you know? You have to be ready for the experience. If you want to experience the experience, then it's definitely worth the money. Getting a custom foundation shade matched to you that you can reorder whenever you want and use whenever you want, that actually matches you and takes the guesswork out of it. Having the experience of meeting with a professional on getting your custom foundation shade, and the whole experience of just doing it, you know? Getting out of the house, going to a place that has it and doing it. It's really cool. Oh, and wearing the foundation. That's another benefit. But like I said, you have to be wanting that for it to be worth it. It's not like walking into Ulta, grabbing a foundation and hoping it matches and taking it home. You know, it's not like that. It is an experience. And in my opinion, it's a wonderful experience. I would do it again and again. And for the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Concealer, I know this was like a mini first impression / review of this. I'm excited to use this more, like really excited to use this more. My under eye looks really good. The powder made it feel a little bit dry, but I want to try this with different powders and see, because I really liked how this spread out and the coverage of it. That's what I liked about this. So I'm really excited to see more of that. If you're also really excited, just in general, it would be awesome if you gave this video a like, because it does let me know that you like this type of content, but it also helps others find my content because you liked it. So you liking it could inadvertently help someone else find me that you like, that you get in common with, that you see their comment and find another creator that they like. Funny how that works? Connecting, social networking. Yes, love that. Also, if you want to see this look and more looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this. And that is to always remember and never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And I love you guys. Bye.